Like, and you would walk in there, and it'd be like, you ever walk in the snow after it's 4 days old and frozen? Like, there's different points. I'm not kidding you, Lee.
No, he's serious.
I'm not kidding you, Lee. And before you went in there, remember, Lee, before you went in there, this is how disgusting.
Yeah, none of this sounds fun.
No, but it is fun. It is fun when you're 12, okay? When you're 12 and you see a guy come out of a room and a little immigrant walk in with a fucking mop with hot water and wipe up the cum, and then he puts it back in the thing, and he goes, go right ahead. You know, like, you're like, oh my God.
Would you tip him like a token or something?
No, go away. You're wiping cum up for a fucking living. You can't, you're not even invited to the conversation.
Oh my
What do you do for a living? I'm a janitor at a cum house. That was this guy's. He got $8 an hour, insurance, you know.
Insurance.
It was, and you know, hot water, I mean, it was steaming, Lee. So the hot water would go in, he'd just plop it on the cum, go like this, and then put it in the thing and squeeze it. And then you go in there, you put your token in there, and the fucking screen would pop up. Okay, so there would probably be, if it was 8 in the morning, if it was 10 in the morning.
Oh my God.
If it was 10 in the morning.
And there's already like a coagulation of cum on the floor.
Oh, it's open 24 hours. Oh, and we never close. We're like fucking the Vatican. We don't close down. We're like the Comedy Store.
Someone probably drowned in there once.
No, Lee. And if you went in there at 6, it was chicks that were hooking, that fucked all night long, and now went in there for the last $20. And they would be all high and shit, and some guy would be putting a dick in her mouth, and she would be on a circular bed that wasn't even made. It was like a circular bed that
This was in the peep show?
In the peep show. So you either went to, the peep shows were either singular or plural. Right. The plural ones were a circle. So I could see Lee.
Oh no!
I could look at Lee and see Lee looking at your pussy, and vibrating as he jerked off and shit. And then on the way walking home, Lee, I saw you jerking off, and I didn't jerk off. I swear to God, smell my hand. You know, we'd have the creepiest conversations that 12-year-olds have.
It's amazing how stupid you are at 12. Smell my hand. I didn't jerk off.
I didn't jerk off. Smell my hand. You know, it was fucking crazy.
Oh my God!
But then they had the glass. They had first. Let me be clear on this. They had the shield that went up, and it was a bulletproof glass.
Oh, thank God.
Okay, but then there was. If you went into 42nd Street, and you went in those were the ones where everything popped up, and you could stick your head in, and she could come over and let you suck a tit, finger her. You know, you could finger her while you jerked off, but you had to like put your arm in this little glass. Okay, and she would have to get like on a milk carton,
like at the bank.
Yeah, and you would be fingering and jerking off.
Oh my God!
You could suck her titties. You could lick her asshole. Like she would have to bend over on the milk cart, and she had just gotten in from it. Now I never went to that one where the head popped up.
Oh my God!
I never went in where the glass popped in.
Right.
But so we went the first time. We went back to Jersey. Talked about it. Jesus Christ, bro! They fuck right in front of you. Come on, you're lying. You're full of shit. No, man, they fuck in front of you, and then they have a bed that's made of wood and it spins. Did I tell you that? So he would go around while the guy was fucking her.
So would he have to move his feet like every?
No.
He was actually on the platform with her.
And the platform would spin around, and she'd be on heroin, and he'd just be fucking her, and she wouldn't know where she'd be. And then while he was fucking her, there'd be 3 chicks going around. Like if a bunch of chicks came, then it was like a suckathon. Suck my tit for a quarter. You know, you could suck a chick's tit for a quarter.
Wow.
But then I went back. We started going back, and I went with a kid who today is a cop in San Diego. And this fucking knucklehead stuck his head in and didn't put enough quarters in.
Oh, no.
So the thing closed, and they had to call an ambulance. We all left him there. We didn't know nothing. We don't know nothing. I still remember them dragging him out. Where are you guys? We don't know nothing. We just ran.
God, how would you like that hanging on you for the rest of high school?
So that was the bottom level.
Yeah.
When you made the turn up, Felicia, I'm looking you in the eye, and I'm telling you this because you have boys, and I just want to let you know how happy you didn't raise your boys in New York at this time. So now, as you walked up, as you got close to Caroline's, I didn't know it was Caroline's. I'm not going to say, I don't know nothing about comedy, do I give a fuck about comedy? But as you got up in those streets, all those bars, where I come in, there'd be a black guy outside or a hot chick, and she'd go, come on in. Felicia, do you know how many times they drug us in when we were 7th and the 8th grade?
Really?
And you'd go right up to the bar, You guys old enough to grip? Hell yeah, we old enough to drink. And strippers come right up to you and sit next to you, and you could feel their leg. We would be like fucking 12, and these women were 40. They had been blowing guys for years. They were at the tail end of their hooking career.
You could feel their leg.
And then they go, we could have a date, but you have to buy me a bottle of champagne. And it was a little bottle. Oh. Okay, and here you are in the 7th grade, and they come back with a $41 tab, and you're like, give me that. You ain't drinking that $40. I ain't got $40, and then they would throw you out.
Right.
We did that at all those places.
Yeah.
Where they would call us and think about that. That's how raw New York City was in the 70s.
I can imagine that, Joey, because when I'm an Army brat, so I grew up in Berlin. My mother was from Berlin. My father was in the service. And when they got divorced, we lived on the street called Potsdamer Straße, which was like one of the main streets in Berlin. And in the 70s, it was at the same time as what you're talking about. There were prostitutes and hookers all over the place. And it was like just out in the open.
Out of control.
And one time I was walking home from school or something, and this prostitute ran to catch the bus. But, you could tell she's a prostitute. And her necklace fell off, and I picked it up, and I gave it to my mom for Mother's Day. And I still have that fucking necklace from some hooker in Berlin. But it was very raw back then.
Raw. They didn't care how old you were.
Yeah.
In those days, a lot of kids I hung out with, their dads would take them into the city to get laid for the first time, just to get it out of the way.
That's kind of weird.
That was very big back then. Wait, nobody ever did it with me.
At what age?
14.
Oh no!
Yeah,
just to get it out of the way.
Could really.
A lot of kids I grew up with would tell me I lost.
What about the poor prostitute? I mean,
$50 is $50.
Maybe she didn't do it a lot. Maybe they didn't do it a lot because they got.
Maybe
too
they
scared.
had the really young ones do it. Like I can't imagine like a 30-year-old.
I'm sure they drug out the oldest one.
In those days, when I was growing up, especially when I was growing up in Manhattan, Spanish families, a lot of the Spanish, when their dads would take them right down to get laid.
Oh, really?
To get it out of the way.
Yeah.
So that's it. We don't have this problem going on. You want to fuck your brother. You know what I'm saying?
Well, it's so, sexuality is so weird, right? Like I see when you're a mom and you have kids and you see like one child is more sexual in nature than another child. Who's to say like what is deviant behavior in sex and what is not deviant behavior in sex? And to bring it back to the movie, when Susanna Lee, who's a comedian and sex worker on the side, she was working at the Venus Fair show there, a peep show. It's the last working peep show in the Los Angeles County area, because a lot of that stuff is going away, And she's like, oh, I want to do this. I have this idea for a web series. I want to interview comedians, and we want to talk about deviance and sexuality and all that. Do you want to be a part of that? And I was like, yeah, I want to be a part of it. I think that's really just out of the park. And as a lot of people kind of know, I was a stripper when I was 18. So for me, it was like, fuck yeah, I want to go see the inside of one of those. I want to go.
We're going in like fucking Marines. You understand me?
Welcome to church, motherfucker.